What is Fintech? It is simply an abbreviation of financial technology. Advanced digital technology innovations have developed in the last 10 years, enabling new opportunities in every part of our lives. The financial industry has seen these advances as a chance for further development. Fintech originally referred to digital technology applied in the offices of banks and trading firms, but now describes a broad variety of technological interventions into personal and commercial finance. Financial products and services that were once limited to the realm of bank branches, salesmen, and desktop computers are moving toward mobile devices. Mobile applications make our lives easier and support daily financial management.
Mongolia was once considered as the fastest growing economy in the world with 17% annual growth. Our market is greatly dependent on mining, as mining is dependent on our neighbor markets. The tragic event serves as an example of how depending one sector, ignoring the others, can harm the overall economy of the country.
We didn't have new products on the market during the last 4 years. For example, from 2012 to 2016, for example, and starting from 2017, we have several new products on the capital market. For example, we had the largest corporate fixed income SU bond, for example. SU, the biggest dairy factory company in Mongolia, for example. They raised 6 billion tugrik, on the capital market.
The mining industry was like eating up most of the talents in the country available out there, right? So there's a lack of talent, and also there's a lack of people who are focusing on non-mining problems, which creates an opportunity for us. So we didn't see this mining industry as a threat or as a problem, but we see it as a good, environment that gives us more space to play our game, right? So, and then from the talent perspective, most of the talented people are working in the mining industry, which is a real problem now for us. So now we have to find and hire the best engineers from somewhere else, right? So the second source was to convince the Mongolians outside the country and bring them back to the Mongolia, and then help us to build this product. So that's why we started connecting with the students and graduates and professionals abroad, mostly Mongolians, and we started bringing them back, and I'm the one of them who came and who believed in this vision, and then who wanted to join this really good group of people to build a solution.
Since the economy is so dependent on commodity price fluctuations in the global market, other major sectors in Mongolia are also affected by mining. It is essential for us to develop other areas that are not fully dependent on the mining industry. The Mongolian capital market is $812 million industry that shows consistent growth every year. But the market in Mongolia is still underdeveloped. The Mongolian banking sector dominates the financial system, holding more than 95% of all assets. Although Mongolian policymakers have recently implemented measures to develop local capital markets, challenges still remain. The Mongolian financial market lacks long-term financing resources, as there are no substantial institutional investors, such as life insurance providers and pension funds, which can invest in long-term financial products.
There is a special calculation, on what companies, should be included in top 20 index, for example. So mostly, they are based, the selection of the companies, they are based on liquidity of stock trading. They are based on the capital market capitalization of the listed company, as well as the size of the company, and certain indicators to select the companies. So many representative companies from different sectors. For example, we have APU, the largest beverage company in top 20 index, and from food sector, for example, and we have Gobi, which is one of the best, top Kashmir companies, factories in Mongolia, representing the manufacturing sector, and so on. We have Remicon representing the construction materials factory sector, and so on. So there is a calculation.
There are like challenges when you want to build a fintech business in Mongolia. There's like to name a few of them. First of all, regulatory challenge. Right? The financial industry itself is very strict, and there are like the understanding that only big companies can start financial institution. Only those who have deep, pocket can start financial like banks or. So it's very highly regulated, right? The second one is because it needs a lot of like high-level advanced technology. There is a talent. You have to find the best talents who can help us to build this business, right?
Lenderman, could be named one of the how to say, most successful IPOs on the market. They were planning to raise 2.5 billion from public and 2.5 billion from strategic investors, and totally making 5 billion Tugrik.
It is good that Mongolia's younger generation has access to higher education in developed countries. Recently, more and more young Mongolian men and women who have earned degrees in foreign countries have started coming back home to contribute to the development of their home country. A great example of this lies in Lenderman. They sponsored Startup Weekend held in Tokyo, Japan, to look for brilliant talent and amazing business ideas. They're also willing to contribute to projects that can make people's lives easier.
This is Nemin from Nagaoka City, Niigata State, and I'm studying for mechanical engineering as a master's student in Nagaoka University of Technology, and I come to Japan September 2017. It's been not for a long time. So I'm attending this kind of event for my second time. Actually, the first one was about in 2015 in Mongolia, which is the Startup Weekend in Mongolia 15. And for this time, the reason why I'm attending for the second time, I'm trying to build up my team for establishing my venture company in the future. So actually, my future is already decided because of my scholarship condition from Mongolian government. So I have to go back to my country, and then I have to work for 5 years after my graduation.
And then we had several IPOs. One, it could be it's iTools, the IT company. It's also kind of startup company, very interesting company. Many investors, because of iTools IPO, many new investors, came into our market. So we should be very thankful to these guys. And then we had Energy IPO, which also raised 1.8 billion from the market.
For our case, the Lenderman uses artificial intelligence to assess the credit risk of incoming customers, and that needs to happen instantaneously based on traditional and non-traditional data that we can collect about the customer, right? So we need to use the machine learning, and that's why we have to hire the machine learning expert. There's only 3,000 machine learning experts in the world, and we need to find at least hire a few of them to build our product. And luckily, one of our co-founders is a gifted mathematician who has completed his bachelor and master degree in University of Tokyo. Also, he went to United States to study his PhD in math as well. He taught math in European universities. So he's one of our co-founders, and he's one of those 3,000 machine learning experts on the world. And we overcome challenges with the help of our co-founder, right?
I always wanted to come back. I mean, so of course when I was studying, I had to finish my studies. And once I've got my PhD, I thought about coming back, but then obviously I thought getting some research experience was a good idea before coming back. And so I went to Copenhagen. And then after Copenhagen, I also thought about coming back, but then I got a very good project from the Engineering and Physical Sciences Research Council in the UK, so I decided to do the project before I come back. So I went to Cardiff for 3 years. The number of people who've done their PhDs abroad is increasing actually quite rapidly. There are lots of people who did their PhDs in, there are people who did their PhD in the US, Japan, Korea, and even Sweden and other places. So if you look at the percentage of PhDs earned at good universities, it's quite high actually.
It is a fact financial services customers expect more. They want more mobile and more technology, and they want it on their terms, but they aren't always getting what they want. Both traditional financial services firms and fintechs are struggling to create positive customer experiences for the majority of customers. Nonetheless, fintechs are making significant progress with young, tech-savvy and affluent consumer segments. And fintechs are also particularly popular in emerging markets like China, with current usage at 84% and India at 76%. In fact, globally, over 50% of customers already use at least one non-traditional firm. But this doesn't mean that they are leaving traditional firms. When it comes to trust, 36.6% of customers trust traditional firms versus only 23.6% trusting fintech. However, this shifts when both offer positive experiences. Customers with a positive experience give fintechs the edge on trust at 56% versus 53%. Customers believe traditional firms are still superior when it comes to fraud protection, quality service and transparency, but fintechs score higher in value for money.
Good afternoon for you, yes? Fintech is an interesting industry for us as a country because it is what we call the third wave startups. These startups cannot survive without interfering with the infrastructure or the regulations or the government. And so if you think about that, if you want to make change on the infrastructure level or change an industry that's so dependent on the foundation of a society, a small country is the way to go. And that's why I think Mongolia is a great kind of sandbox for developing ideas for fintech. We have the ability to have discussion with our regulators. You know, we have the ability to tweet our parliament members and to involve them in the conversation to change the laws, so that could be a little more helpful for creating a new financial solutions out there that can help the customers. So that's why I think anything in fintech, health, technology, education technology, insurance technology, these are all great industries that Mongolian tech founders can follow.
Fintech makes, like we have a Lenderman now, one young company, Mongolian company, and we need to follow. But what is the good thing about fintech? Fintech makes financial services available to everybody at any time, so fast, so quick, instead of going through banks with long procedure. Now, of course, there is some risk, but this compared the achievements compared with the risk is quite big. Now, everybody who wants to do business can have a faster access to finance, but it doesn't mean it's cheaper access to finance. So the issue is, technically you have now services that can provide you very fast access. Now the issue is to make cheaper that financial resources, which can be done only in thriving private economy, thriving competition, competitive economy, where everybody can produce products competitively. That's what is challenge of Mongolia in our economic development. And the more we are efficient, the more we will have fintech and kind of these services. I mean, not only fintech, but also there is several other, well, I mean, in each walk of business, each sector now, we are facing now new challenges, introducing more database analysis, more database driven businesses. So I hope not only fintech, but many other businesses can use the digital programs that make their process faster, market analysis faster, and more adapting their services and products to new conditions, new demand of the people.
I was used to work in Hitachi, and I had many colleagues, and we were a very good team. I think Lendeman would be succeed, of course, because there's a very good team in Lendeman. Services are very understandable, easy, so many people can use it. If we provide very difficult interface to people, so many people cannot use it. So I think the technology is not problem. So how we provide it to people, to customers.
To me, the fintech is like new way of the money. Like for the view of the classic thing, it is only a paper and a coin, but like it's getting to data, and then since like world getting small, I mean like a world getting global, and then we have same currency, not in the border from the country borders, and then the outcome. What I get from this event was I really got a very good experiences, and then I could meet the very good people in here. And then other thing is I feel like start a startup is kind of hard, but like we had only 2 days, but we could make idea and we could pitch. And plus we could make them.
Because we are so few here, I think even one person could make a difference. Yeah.
The tragic event served as an example of how depending on only one sector, ignoring the other areas, can harm the overall economy of the country.
Most of the Mongolian economy currently is based on revenue from the mining sector. But this doesn't mean that mining should be the only source of income for Mongolia. We have beautiful natural landscapes and a smart young generation, as well as some disadvantages that can easily be turned into advantages, with some effort and good regulation. We try to prove how Mongolia's young generation is valued in the world, how they are willing to contribute to their country, and how young entrepreneurs are changing the way things are in Mongolia, a country with only 28 years of free market economy experience. Good policy decisions are expected to be made, precise measures are planned to be taken, and the brilliant new generation is motivated to be successful. Mongolia's development solution is a knowledge-based economy. We can make Mongolia great again.